I originally shot this video in September 2020, and it was in my early days of videography. While it lacks finesse, it does contain material of interest, and I've done a re-edit for this, my new channel. There were constant flashes of the sun in the first section of talking, and I decided instead just to run some B-roll over the top of it. So I hope you enjoy it and get some use from it anyway. Hello again, just walking up Burscombe Lane. It's a beautiful day today, a few clouds about, might stay like that, hopefully this afternoon, not cloud over totally. I've got a shot in mind. I was walking past it the other day. It's over the other side of Core Hill. It's a really nice raised walkway. It's on old railway sleepers and it's covered in the leaves at the moment that are sort of yellowy orange. Looks very pretty. Now, I did it in passing on a shot a couple of days ago and I didn't really spend much time on it. I shot it as a wide angle and I should have shot it maybe long at a distance to try and compress the path there. I'm going to go back today and try both methods and see which one's best and compare the two. I touched on it recently in a video where I said you get a different look to a scene if you shoot it close and wide than if you shoot the same scene at distance. So I can use that as an example today. I've severely pared down my equipment today. Camera fell off the tripod the other day. It's this Arca Swiss. I'm not getting on with it. I've completely ditched it now. I've gone back to a Manfrotto head where it clips in and you know it's going to be secure that way. Can't do any panning video though now. So I'm going to have to get a different head, Manfrotto head I think. It's actually not that bad because what's happened is I've regained my camera clip again, which takes the weight off the back, it puts it on the front and it balances your load a bit better. So it's not so bad. There's bonuses to it, look on the bright side. Okay, well I'm here at the scene, absolutely ideal. Wind's blown some of the leaves off, so I might add a few leaves. It's has to be done sometimes. I'm going to shoot this 5 different ways actually. So the first way is I'm going to be shooting it long. Now, I'm not too worried about getting everything in focus when you shoot long because imagine that's the front of the camera rather than the back. If you're shooting at, let's say, a narrow depth of field, the closer you are to the front lens, the narrower that depth of field is that's going to be in focus. The further you away, that goes wider and wider, okay? So if I'm shooting at f8, for argument's sake, at distance, pretty much everything's going to be in focus. Now, the problem is, I'm shooting wide here, and I'm really concentrating on the foreground. Now, because I'm closer, that depth of field that's going to be in focus is going to be quite narrow. Unless I stop it, the f-stop right down to f16, which I'm going to do. So this is, the first way is going to be shooting it long, and the other 4 ways are these methods. I'm going to get everything in the front focused, and just blur out the background. Second method is to blur out the foreground and get everything in the background in focus. The 4th method is to stop it right down and get everything in focus at f16. And the final method is a technique called focus stacking, where you take 3 or 4 images. In this I'll probably take 3 images, where you get the front in focus, the middle in focus and the background in focus, and you blend the images together. Now that might seem like cheating for you, but really a camera is quite limited in what it can do with focus. Our eyes are amazing. We are able to pick out the dark shadows in a really bright scene. A camera can't do that. That's why we use Photoshop to bring out those shadows and balance the image. But also focusing, our eyes can focus so well in distances, but a camera can't. So sometimes you've got to just help it along a little bit in order to get the image that you want. So anyway, let's get on and take some photos. Okay, so I've got my scene set up. Now the first shot I'm going to take, I'm just going to take in the focus of the first one. I'm at f8 at the moment. I've got back button focusing on this at the moment, so I'm just going to focus on that leaf. It's on a 2-second timer. Okay, now the next one is I'm going to focus at the back and get these trees in focus. So again, back button focus, 2-second timer, there we go. Now the other thing is I want to take down the f-stop down to 16, try and get everything in focus. What I'll do here is I'm going to have to have a look at the let's have a look at the histogram. Histogram's looking okay on that. I'm going to focus in the middle of the scene, about here. Back button focus. There we go. 2-second timer. Right, now I can probably use those for focus stacking as well. So I'm just going to fill in the gaps here. Okay, so let's switch over lenses and shoot long now. Then we can compare how the two scenes differ. Okay, so I've reset the scene. As you can see, it already looks hugely different. I've still got this at f16. Let's just keep it at that for the moment. I've already focused in the middle of the scene, and 2-second timer, just take that shot there. Now, just here on the left, I noticed that I haven't quite got these stumps in, and that's holding the railway sleepers together. So let's take that again. 2-second timer, light's just coming through perfectly. Let's take that again. Okay, there's a bit of a breeze around actually, and I think that's going to interfere with my shots. So I think I'm going to have to drop down the ISO and shoot at a faster shutter speed. Whatnot? Yeah, I'm only on 1/3 of a second here at the moment. So let's go up to 800 first, see what I can get away with on that. Bring it down, bring up the histogram. Okay, f16, I'm going to have to bring that down as well. Let's bring it down to f8. Histogram's still quite high, there we go, bring it down. What's that, 60 per second now? That's better. The sun's gone in, just going to have to wait for a second. Let's take a shot while we're waiting. I'd rather have the contrast and the dappled light effect myself. And here comes the sun. Right, I'm going to just zoom out a little bit and catch a bit more of the trees in the background without catching the sky in it. I don't really want the sky in it. I'll blow out the highlights. Why is that so loose? Oh, I've got that one tied up. Right, so let's have a look at that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Keep pressing the wrong button. I'm happy with that composition. Shadows at the bottom. Well, it's going to be cropped anyway, probably, so I don't really like that shadow though. So let's just raise it up a little bit. There we go. I'm happy with that. The way it leads through like that, trees going up and down like that. Just got to wait for the light now. Right, the light's coming through now. And again. And again. It's nice and still at the moment. Okay. Right, well I think I've got enough shots. I'm not somebody who takes hundreds of shots. I'm surprised I've taken this many. I normally just go out and take one shot and that's it. But let's have a look at them and make the comparisons. Okay, well this is the first shot I took where I just focused in the foreground. I quite like this shot, the light is quite nice, but the eye leads through the scene to the trees at the back and they're out of focus, and I think they should be in focus. This second shot I much prefer. I like the light in it. The eye is drawn through the scene to the back, which is in focus. This is a much better shot, even though the foreground is out of focus. This is the third shot where I focused in the middle and dropped the aperture down to f16. Everything's kind of in focus here, but I find my eye being drawn to the middle rather than to the back. Because of that, there's no interest in the middle of the scene, it's just a path. So it doesn't draw your eye to the trees quite so well, I don't think, because the front is in focus, I think is the reason. This fourth image is the one that I focus stacked. It's a good technical exercise, but in this case I don't think it's quite worked. The light was moving around with the different images. I don't like the way the light has fallen in this scene. Technically it's a good photograph, but it's just not quite right. This is the first shot when I shot with a long lens. I missed out on the trees at the back. They're not part of the scene. This is nothing more than just some wood on the floor. I really don't like it and it's failed. I do like this shot, but I think I should have just taken a step to the left a little and zoomed in a little. There's essentially three groups of trees here. There's two to the left. I should have just had it so it's just that main one in the middle there. But I do like this, but of all the images that I took, it's back to the second one for me. That was the best image. But everything is subjective, so let me know what you think. Which image do you prefer? Okay, well that's it for this week. Really hope you enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe please if you haven't already subscribed. And until next time, take care.